Guys, here we are, 5 for talking. It's Bargo, Nick, and Campo. Here to talk about some Leafs here, shoot the shit for a bit. Nick, what do you think about the Leafs?
Well, I mean, I'm scared. I'm legitimately scared based on what I saw last night. I don't know if you guys watched the game and all, but that was a lackluster performance. And based on what I saw last night, I'm legitimately worried.
I have hopped on the Ottawa bandwagon since last night, and they're gonna win this. They're going for the cup.
Didn't they just lose 3-1?
That's a scary loss. When everyone behind them is winning right now, including Tampa Bay and Detroit, who suck.
I don't know. I'm kind of concerned about Frederik Andersen's leaving the game with upper body injury.
Well, they're saying that there's no concern in terms of what Babcock's saying, but you could be right, you know. But
McElhinney played like shit.
But down the run, they're going to need their goalie anyways. At least in these last, 7 games they have left? 8 games left?
Yeah, you guys are right, but you know what? I don't. For defense on McElhinney, the team in front of him play like crap.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they had 3 power plays last night. Didn't even score once for a team that's like what? 10?
I don't know. Nylander, I think he's all-time leader in power play goals.
Who did they play before that? Carolina, when McElhinney was in net.
No, they haven't faced Carolina in a little while.
Yeah,
Actually, maybe it was a while ago.
Whoever they faced, the last game McElhinney played, he was pretty good. Like, last night when I seen the highlights, it was pretty disappointing to see him.
Yeah,
like
because
they
competed.
Against, it was New Jersey.
New Jersey.
It was New Jersey.
It's because they competed. I mean, last night, that team was a totally different team. They didn't compete at all. You know, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was a frustrating game to watch. You know, I just hope they bring their A game in terms of next game, facing Florida. I believe they're facing tomorrow night.
Yeah, now Florida just won. Who did they won like what 9-0 or 7-0 last night?
7-0.
Yeah, and this is the same team they lost to. What 7?
They're facing Florida on Tuesday.
You know, it's very disturbing, man. Very disturbing.
Okay, but if you're in their situation now, hoping that you're gonna make the playoffs, if Andersen comes out with some type of injury, do you bench him until the playoffs and play McElhinney, but you have a chance to not make the playoffs because of it?
Personally, I don't think they're going to risk Frederik Andersen's career over this, so they'll probably end up resting him depending on how severe the injury is.
Yeah, but I don't think it's career threatening. I just think if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, you need him as a goalie, but you also need him to get to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they're also a team after 1 year of rebuilding that are in a position right now that no one expected them to be in to begin with. So, I mean, even if they don't make the playoffs this year, I'm not a disappointed fan.
That's what I mean. Or would you be disappointed if they didn't make the playoffs? Like, okay, obviously you're disappointed, but
I would be because they're in a pretty good position in terms of what Boston and New York has to do to make the playoffs. So I would love for them to make the playoffs. Am I expecting them to make playoffs? Not really, but where they're at right now, I mean, they should be able to. I think they've put a lot of weapons in their arsenal to sort of like, you know, put them in the playoffs, you know, bringing in Boyle and trading for Fair. But I believe, and I really do believe they should be able to make the playoffs.
I thought Fair was a good move, to be honest. And
first game,
I know, and was it the first game?
I think
it was first or second, yeah, but I don't know. That was rough for them because he's out for the season, I think, because of that.
Is he?
He broke his finger, didn't he?
Yeah, he broke his. He's gonna be out for the season. They're not going to force him to come back either to begin with.
Well, I thought bringing Boyle in was spectacular.
Yeah, and I hope they re-sign him. I hope he stays here because he's good. He can play any position too.
6'7", fourth liner, does well on faceoffs. I mean,
what's his name? John Cooper, coach of Tampa Bay, said he would even play him. He would have put him on defense if he had to. That's how much he liked him.
Yeah, he's a veteran player, good player. Does everything, both ends of the ice.
So, yeah, this goes back to what we were saying before. They have enough weapons to sort of compete for the playoffs. But inexperienced or not, I just can't understand why they were not competing last night. That's what just frustrated me the most.
That should have been an easy win on the road.
Well, didn't Eichel just come back last night after missing so many games? I mean, he had a
I'm not sure.
game.
he's on fire. He has like 53 points in 53 games since coming back from the injury, and he got 3 points last night. To lose to Buffalo after beating them the last time is like, how do you lose?
They're definitely the better team on the ice on paper compared to Buffalo.
No, I think Buffalo on paper is a better team.
You got pieces of glass on
You have O'Reilly. You have Evander Kane.
Glass.
That team has a lot of potential. You have the couple solid defensemen on that team. You have a good goalie. Like, he's not a starter, but
Okay, well then, why is it that the power play on the Leafs was doing so well up until last night? They couldn't generate any chances. They have enough players, enough skill on that team to perform well. They just couldn't do anything.
sometimes it's just the game. You just have a bad game, right? Like, I don't know if they come back out next game and they rip it up, it's all forgiven. But
well, their last game against Florida, they lost 7-2, so they have something to prove here as well.
Didn't they win one, lose one against Florida?
I don't know. I'm just talking about the last game.
Yeah, it was a
Florida
back-to-back.
won 7-0
I swear it was a
last
back-to-back.
night, so they're out there scoring goals, man.
Yeah, Florida's still not even in playoff contention right now, are they?
They are in 4th out of a playoff spot right now with 77, and the Leafs are at 85.
The last place team has 84, 85.
They have 8 more games left. There's definitely enough to go on a streak.
Yeah, but they're not. It's not going to happen. It's the same thing with Tampa Bay. If they win every game for the rest of the season, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
Like, when you score 7 goals and your first line, Yager doesn't even get 1 point, that's telling you that you're not making the playoffs. If your first line is not contributing to you winning a 7-0, then your chances of making the playoffs
It's other players stepping up, though.
Those third line players are not going to step up every game. That's why they're on the third line.
Oh, but come on, man. You're referring to Yager. Yager's
but
44 years old.
Yager's my favorite player, but 44-year-old Yager is not good.
Okay, we're getting a bit off topic here, though.
Anyways, comparison to last season and where they are now, I definitely didn't expect them to even be close to playoffs. I didn't think they would be last.
I definitely never thought they'd be competing for a playoff spot either, but you know what? At the end of the day, they got enough skill on that team to make it happen. I mean, a lot of things have happened this year that's been a first for their Toronto Maple Leafs. As of last night's game, Marner tied the rookie assist record for a rookie for Toronto Maple Leafs. Matthews, he tied Wendell Clark's goal scoring record for a rookie Leaf. I mean, those two and Nylander, all three of them are not far off the all-time points for a rookie. Well,
what was it,
Matthews
67?
is in the 60s. Marner's
It's like high 50s and
57, I think.
Nylander's in the
50s,
50s.
52, 53, something like that.
The record is 67.
I don't know. I think the accusations they made in the offseason cut a lot of the rebuild time significantly down. At least 2-3 years. Picking up the goalie, Mike Babcock. You have a team now.
Well, he better be worth it. He's getting paid, what, $50 million? Babcock?
He's getting paid
For real?
something. He's getting paid 8 something.
Is he highest paid?
Highest paid coach by
ever.
6 million.
Ever?
He's the highest paid coach right now.
He's the
by
best
6
coach.
mil.
He's the Greg Popovich right now of NBA. He's the Bill Belichick from the NFL, but just in NHL.
There's a few pieces that if they fill those slots, fill them up with solid defensemen, maybe get another streaky forward, I think they can be an even more dangerous team.
All they need on that team is to keep exactly what you have and get defensemen. You need to stay at home, beat the crap out of people defensemen to play on a line with Gardner and to play on a line with Carrick or Zaitsev, because you're going to have Riley on the first line. Those 4 defensemen I'm keeping. You're keeping Gardner, Riley, Zaitsev, and Carrick, and you got to get something else.
Hunwick, Polak, and Marincin.
Yeah, you just scrap that. I don't want any of them. Maybe you keep Hunwick around as a 7th D.
I thought Polak was playing well, man.
Yeah, but keep Polak. Out of those 3, I'd keep Polak.
I'd keep Polak or Hunwick as a 7th defenseman.
But what you have to look at is what you're going to make available, a position you got to make available, because if you're going to get one of these, let's say, top 4 defensemen, who are you going to put on your third
If you have salary to sign a guy like, what's his name, Edler on Vancouver, is that the defenseman? Something like that, a guy who's really solid defensively and can really hit and not scared to get down and dirty. That's what they need.
They need someone who's at an age that's going to grow with the team, because if they can keep the core team together, they can be a dangerous team as well. Like how in Detroit, how they kept all the players along with Babcock the whole time. They all grew up together. The playoff run was outstanding. How many years they made the playoffs?
I don't want to end up with a Chicago, LA, Pittsburgh type team, and like if you're gonna really push for the cup, then okay. But I don't want to have a team with a core of 4 players, and then like the rest of the team is just a constant rotation of garbage that comes in and has one good year and then goes out.
Seems to have worked for Chicago for so long.
Yeah, but if we don't have that kind of team that we know is going to win a cup like Chicago, I don't want to have that, because then you're never progressing. You're just constantly dropping pieces that are important because you can't afford it and picking up garbage.
Well, they're not picking up garbage. They've gotten they're not picking up much, but they have players that are young enough that are still under contract that they can afford.
You could go on the corner right now and pick up a fucking pop can and put it on a line with Sidney Crosby, and it's going to score 20 goals.
Well, apparently it's not working for Hyman and Matthews, so...
Yeah. They got to make some switches there, man.
Okay, he shouldn't be off the team, but I don't think he
should be on the same line as Matthews.
No, he should be on the
Who else is going to play with him, though? That's the thing. Who else is going to play with him?
I'd rather have
someone
Martin
else a
out
chance. I think up to this point, the Hyman experiment is done. It's over with. Bring somebody in. You got Levo, who's just waiting on the sidelines.
He's injured.
Yeah, but I mean, like earlier on in the year, like why not try him out on that line? I mean, you're telling me that Hyman is a good fit with Matthews?
No, he's not. And I
Hyman's
think
got
Levo's
5
a good
points.
idea.
Hyman's got 5 points in the last 2 months.
Yeah, and probably from Matthews shooting the puck off his head.
Him and Connor Brown have 0 finish. Hard-working players with 0 finish.
I feel the same way about Connor Brown. I think he's overrated. Yeah. I don't think he's bad, but like both of them are not bad. But
they're hard-working off the puck, and to get the puck, they're great. But when it comes time to finishing with the puck, making a play with the puck, it's a problem.
I want to see Kapanen.
Yeah, Kapanen.
He has explosive speed. I want to see maybe even Timashov or Lindbergh. Yeah. Or Levo is the best pick. And the other day on the radio, they're like, "Oh, Levo will be playing tonight for Eric Ferry, who's over the injury." This guy's like, "Oh, Levo sucks." Are you crazy?
Oh man, he's got what, like about 9 points in 13 games.
His game, even from last year, his points to game is so good.
It's so much better. Give like Soshnikov a chance on Matthews' line.
I would take that. They need to get a little sniper.
They should mix it up a little bit. I don't know.
I would even take Martin on that line.
If Matthews was on a line, like how a line is on a line in Winnipeg on a first line with all good players,
he would have 80 points this year.
He would be way ahead of Line in the race.
If you had Matthews on a line with Marner or Nylander on one side and Van Riemsdyk on the other side, I honestly think he would have like 80 points.
Yeah. Blowout season for sure. But yeah. Alright, so what do you guys think? Who would be the next Leaf captain?
Well, that's a loaded question. Who's going to be the next Leaf captain?
Or who should be captain right now? That's 2 different things.
So let's talk about both.
And who do I think is completely different? Like, I have soft spots right now for Bozak being on the team for so long. But
he's not captain material.
No, I don't know. He could be, I don't know. Or Matthews. But really, honest to God, it's going to be Kadri. It's going to. After how good he did this season, how much Babcock loves him, it's going to be Kadri.
He's got a bad attitude.
I was convinced it was going to be Riley, but now, after seeing this, he fixed all his problems. He is the exact player that Babcock wants. He's the Detroit player that the Leafs never had. That grinder that he broke his every record for himself, and he's playing on the first line.
I just don't see it happening, because if you're going to look to the future of the Leafs, okay, you're going to have to look at it this way. Who do the Leafs want to market as captain? Kadri or Matthews?
Matthews, for sure.
Who's going to be the better player? Kadri or Matthews?
Matthews is already. Kadri's not being any better than he is. But the thing is, Babcock is not going to let them just throw the C out there. And the Maple Leafs, I get it, they're just a big market base, and it's not even like a team thing with them. It's all about selling.
But there's also things that we don't see is what's going on in the locker rooms, in practice and
stuff.
Yeah,
but I can't see a 19-year-old kid walking in there and being like, "Listen to me, veterans. Listen to what I say."
Yeah, but you got Hunwick, who came up from the Marlies, and his first time on the ice, he got an A.
Yeah, okay, but he's not his first time on the ice. He was playing on the Rangers, I'm pretty sure, before that.
As the Leafs, first time coming on the ice, he got an A.
Yeah, because he probably saw something in him. All I'm saying is that even with Connor McDavid, I believe that's all a marketing ploy, and there's really like a true captain in the locker room. Because if I'm 30 years old in the NHL, all years Lucic, and this little fucking skinny shit walks in and starts telling me what to do, I'm like, yeah, whatever, boss. Go fucking sit down over there.
And that little skinny shit is leading the league.
Doesn't matter, because it's not about leading the league in points, and being a leader is completely different.
I agree with you 100%. But all they did was, instead of waiting 2 years to give it to him until he's actually leading the Edmonton Oilers as a captain, they just went and gave it to him right away instead of wasting time.
They were going to give it to him. They're actually doing a pretty good job of it too.
I'm not saying he's a bad captain in the league. I'm just stating my point, right? Like, you never know. Matthews might not be a talker. He doesn't seem like he's very outgoing.
Not yet, but it's his first year too, right? Let the boys
That's
get
what
comfortable.
I mean. You're not going to just slap a C on him yet, but how much longer can you go without a captain on the team? Like, who do you think, other than... If you couldn't have Matthews, who was the captain of the Leafs?
Man, if you would have asked me this like a couple months ago, I would have said Morgan Riley, but...
That's the same thing I would have said.
But, I don't know.
He's on like a big slump.
Yep, he's on a big slump right now.
He's having a brutal season.
Yeah. The Leafs are having a great season.
Give it to Kamarov, man. Everybody loves Kamarov.
Yeah, but if they're going to keep him, isn't he on a 1 year?
Uncle Leo.
Isn't he on a 1 year contract?
That's a good question.
I'm not 100% on that.
I like him as a player, and I think he would bring a good captain like spirit because he's like a fighter. He's a grinder, but he's having a bad year too. The guy's like 23 points.
I see where you're coming from, man, but just Kadri just...
I don't want it to be Kadri.
Because in a couple of years, I don't see Kadri still being there.
Well, he's on a 5-year contract.
Yeah, I just don't see him being there.
I don't even like Kadri. I never have, but I can't deny that the way Babcock likes him and the season that he's having, and I just think it's going to be him no matter what.
Also, Leo and Kadri, they have a nice little chemistry thing going on as well.
But that's really any other NHL team that's a third line, maybe a second line.
On like a bad team, yeah.
No, on a good team.
Like on Colorado, they'd be first line.
Yeah, but we have Duchesne. I'd take Duchesne over any of those guys. You have McKinnon. I'll take McKinnon.
How many points does Duchesne
Yeah,
have
but Duchesne is actually a good player. We know this. Look at how good he did in the World Cup. He was amazing.
Yeah, not denying that, but
wasn't he the talk of trade talks for so long?
Yeah, he's gonna end up on the Rangers or on or another team like that as a second line center. That's where he's going, to a really good team that's gonna give up all their fucking draft picks for him.
Going back to what we were talking about before, I think we seem to agree to disagree on the Kadri thing.
Yeah, I don't want it to be him.
I think I just, honestly speaking, Matthews is groomed to be captain, and
he will
might not happen next year, but maybe the year after.
He's not going to rush it.
Definitely not.
So if they're not going to give it, if they're not like, Bozak should be entitled to it. But you don't know exactly what kind of leader they actually are, right? So you really have no idea.
But I think they might speed up the process just based on what happened to McDavid. Just
Yeah.
because of the fact that he's become captain.
Copy and paste.
He's pretty much set a huge example for the whole team. He's leading the league in scoring, and Edmonton might actually make the playoffs this year. So
they are making
why
the playoffs.
wouldn't
Pretty
they
sure
probably
they
do the same
I think
thing
they're in the clear already.
for Matthews?
Okay, I'm not gonna take that away. I agree with that, but Edmonton, they're gonna make the playoffs. It's guaranteed already. If they didn't clinch it, they're going to.
The Western Pacific, everyone has 91.
They're tied for first.
All of them.
But I think they're getting out of the first round. After that, they're gonna get slapped around.
Yeah.
Especially in the West with teams that are gonna be physical. The Edmonton has like 2 guys.
Who knows? Edmonton might surprise everybody. You know.
Well, you went there. How was the game?
You know what? Seeing McDavid live is truly something else, man.
Yeah, so I gotta check that out.
It's an awesome place to be. Awesome place to be, and I recommend for anybody to go watch Edmonton live.
Sounds like a good band name. Edmonton Live.
Edmonton Live.
So, who do you guys think would be the best captain, or is the best captain of all time for the Leafs?
Well, I have a soft spot for Wendell Clark, so he's my favorite player ever, and I will always say Wendell. And even maybe some people might disagree with that, but I don't care.
What do you think?
It's Matt Sundin for me, but that's just because I grew up in that era and they were so good with Matt Sundin. He's the best Leaf player of all time, points, statistics. I don't know, but there's arguments to be made. Like, if you go back in the 50s, like, there's some really good, like, Dave Keon is, like, the best Leaf player. They even put him top 100 Leafs.
One, it's Matt Sundin.
It's Matt Sundin, but that's because I grew up with that. But I'm sure they're, like, Doug Gilmour, too, like, I never really liked Wendell Clark, to be honest with you. Sorry. I never liked him at all. He had one good season in his career.
Some fighting words
right now. He had one good career season.
Tasmanian Devil. I'm a fan of Matt Sundin as well, just because I got to watch him grow up. Sorry, watch him while I grow up.
Well, you did watch him grow up, kind of, right?
Yeah, well, in the NHL, yeah.
I was watching highlights the other day. I think I was with you. Of him on the Nordiques. That was when he hit Mary Lemieux in front of the net. Yeah,
legendary flow. Mary Lemieux still finished that goal off, though.
Yeah, of course. He's the greatest player.
Oh, God. Don't get me started on that. What jersey are you wearing right now, John? Thought so.
What jersey are you wearing right now?
Because I didn't feel... You know what? Based on last night's performance of the Leafs, I didn't want to wear a Leaf jersey today, man. Because
I
just
blame
felt
you.
ashamed.
And I specifically put on a Wayne Gretzky jersey because he's wearing a Wayne Gretzky jersey.
Yeah. Look at these jerseys are awesome. I love Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is the best player of all time. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that in another episode.
This is for another day, but he is the best player of all time. The question isn't for another day who could have been.
Ever.
He is. All right.
Ever.
So, segue from that. Who's the best captain in the NHL right now?
There's a lot of options. I'm gonna go
give me
with
3. Give me each one of you. Give me 3.
I'm gonna go with Taves. I'm gonna go with Crosby. And
we got a McDavid yeller in the background. That's the producer.
I'm probably gonna go with Foligno this year.
Foligno?
Yeah.
Taves, and even though I don't like him that much, Crosby, but Crosby right now is the best player in the NHL right now.
Agreed, and I also don't like him much.
But
wait, that's 2. What's another one?
Another one? I would probably go with our producer, McDavid.
Wow. I think
Austin Matthews. Sorry.
I think Thornton, but I don't understand why he's not the captain of San Jose. It really hurts my feelings to know that the best player that's still active in the NHL, leader in points wise, is not
Yager.
The NHL. He doesn't count. He's not even really playing. He's in a coffin and they just slide it around on the ice.
Oh wow! Wow.
Hope he's not listening to this.
It's definitely Taves.
He's gonna get 50.
It's definitely Tavares. And it's definitely Crosby is the top 3.
I forgot about Tavares. You're right. I'd probably throw Tavares over Foligno. But New York, I think Columbus's run this year.
New York next year is gonna sign big names just to keep Tavares there because he's Canadian and they stay where they play.
If they do not make the playoffs, I can see him walking.
Hey, what's up guys? We here at Roblox Games put a lot of time and effort into our content, and it would be very much appreciated if you could drop a like on this video, and if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to our channel for more content.